She pretty much conquered music, everything possible, building an incredible legacy with 23 Grand Slam singles titles, music, and an Olympic gold medal to her name. Much like Caitlin Clark, she rose in a sport music, where women with her skin color were often underrepresented. Because of that, she can truly relate to some of the challenges Clark is facing right now. Williams spoke about Caitlin with genuine admiration, and pointed out one of the key qualities that keeps her so music-driven and determined. What stood out most, though, was the uplifting message she shared.
I just love that she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't, what did she say, she doesn't have a social, she doesn't look at her social, and I get it, I don't either, and I think it's so important to continue to do what she's doing, and no matter what other people do, if people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do.
Top athletes can sometimes become too focused on controlling their public image, and lose sight of the very qualities that made them great in the first place, which can eventually lead to a downfall. Serena praised Caitlin Clark for staying away from the internet and refusing to engage with the constant noise surrounding her. That may be the smartest way to handle irrational, hostile, and often deeply negative attitudes, which in Caitlin's case have at times crossed the line into outright toxicity. Athletes who rise to the very top of their sport must always expect criticism, but there is absolutely no reason to expose themselves to endless online commentary beyond what is truly unavoidable. Caitlin, to her credit, continues doing what she does best, staying present, locking into the moment, and focusing only on what she can actually control, like lighting up defenders from beyond the three-point line, and delivering jaw-dropping no-look assists on a regular basis. Pretty much any fair-minded observer would agree that Caitlin Clark has become a major target on social media, where jealousy and resentment often speak louder than reason. Paige, who knows the social media world very well as one of the most recognized golf influencers in the country, understands exactly how brutal that online environment can be for an athlete's confidence and mental well-being. She knows how damaging it can be to constantly hear the harshest possible opinions about yourself. And she didn't stay silent when it came to Clark's treatment. Paige pointed out that a large part of the negativity is actually coming from women, which directly contradicts the ideals of feminism, unity, and sisterhood that are so often promoted in women's sports. In a recent tweet about Caitlin, she summed up that frustration. The hate directed toward Caitlin Clark by both current and former players is disappointing, but sadly not surprising. Women can be incredibly harsh toward other women while at the same time preaching empowerment and support for the next generation. Paige made it clear she has witnessed this dynamic herself. At the same time, she also reminded everyone of an important truth: a rising tide lifts all boats. That phrase perfectly captures what so many critics seem unwilling to accept. Much of the online discourse surrounding Caitlin really can be described as vicious, especially when it begins attacking deeply personal aspects of who she is, including sensitive issues like race or sexuality. Paige is also correct in saying that this kind of behavior is more common in professional sports than many people want to admit, and far more difficult to stop than most would like to believe. The ultra-competitive environment certainly adds fuel to the fire, and it's fair to wonder whether some of Caitlin's opponents would be quite this aggressive if the financial and commercial side of the sport weren't also involved. What many of them fail to understand is that Caitlin Clark's success financially and commercially is not a threat to the league. It is an opportunity for the entire league. Her visibility, popularity, and star power are helping drive ticket sales, TV ratings, attention, and sponsorships, and in the long run every player stands to benefit from that growth. Very few people are more qualified to speak on the topic of women's sports, equality, and legacy than Billie Jean King, the tennis icon who famously won the historic Battle of the Sexes in the 1970s, and helped prove on the biggest stage that women belong in the center of the sport. Billie Jean remains deeply connected to the landscape of American sports, and clearly understands the sudden explosion of attention around the WNBA. As a legend of women's athletics and one of the most important cultural figures in sports history, she doesn't need to soften her message or dance around the truth. When speaking about Caitlin Clark's impact on the league, Billie Jean was direct and honest about what veteran players should be doing right now if they truly want the WNBA to keep growing. Whether they like it or not, Caitlin is a huge reason for this wave of attention. She is a superstar, and when she succeeds, everyone around her benefits. According to Billie Jean, the entire league improves when a player like Caitlin performs well. She acknowledged that the veteran players laid the foundation and built the structure that exists today, but now Caitlin and this new rookie class have been handed an extraordinary platform, one that has the potential to take the league to a completely different level. That's why this current generation of WNBA players is so important. Billie Jean emphasized that they are now setting the tone for the future, and that children are watching everything they do. Their behavior, attitude, and professionalism will shape how they are remembered and what kind of culture they leave behind. She made it clear that this era has a real chance to set the league on fire in the best possible way, but warned that such a rare moment should not be wasted because of bitterness, jealousy, or unnecessary hostility. Her message was simple: do not ruin this opportunity with animosity. Just play basketball. Play hard, compete fiercely, but leave the cheap shots and petty behavior out of it. More than just commenting on Caitlin Clark or the rookie class, Billie Jean was taking a much broader view of the situation and reminding everyone that women's basketball is standing at a major turn. She understands better than most that transformational opportunities in sports can disappear just as quickly as they arrive, and she clearly does not want internal tension, resentment, or ego to derail what could be a historic chapter for the WNBA. Of course, part of what she was referring to was the overly physical and at times questionable treatment Clark received from some veterans during her rookie season. Her warning is a reminder that fan support and public goodwill should never be treated like something guaranteed. Audiences can be inspired and energized, but they can also be turned away if the wrong tone takes over. And perhaps most importantly, Billie Jean highlighted the difference between playing hard and playing dirty, a distinction that every athlete, coach, and fan should remember. Competition is healthy. Intensity is part of the game. But there is a line, and once that line is crossed, the focus shifts away from basketball and onto something far less productive. In the end, Caitlin Clark's journey is only beginning, and while she has already changed the conversation around the sport in a major way, the full outcome of her impact and the league's response to it